On this video I'm going to show you, this is we continue the series of videos that we're going to help you to make a better job and do it faster. And for me it was a big problem long time ago when I should cut out something on a sheet so I can make a patch panel for a car. Because using a snips like this, it can take pretty long time to do. And when I start teaching people, I couldn't do it with a hand snip because I know I'm going to spend a week to cut out the panels for one class. So that was impossible to do. So if you're going to cut out something after a scribe like this, for example, I just made a little sample line here. But to cut this out with the hand snips, I mean the hand snips are good, but if you're going to cut feet long or lots of inches with the hand snips like this, it takes a long time and the cut is not 100% nice either. But we need them for smaller parts, and I really recommend this blue point that snap-on sells. This is really good hand snips, and I recommend those. I tested many different ones, but this works really good. But it was almost an incident in Sweden that I found out another tool that I could use for cutting out panels. And here is an electrical shear. It's not the nibbler, it's a shear. And you can see that here is that you can rotate those shears. And I recommend this Makita shear because the overlap with the shear is very little. So that means you can do really quick turns. Some of the brands, different brands, other brands, are too much overlap on the shear when they go up and down. So that means you can't turn it so quick. So make sure that you got a good electrical shear before you purchase one. And test it so it do the job. This Makita shear here is GS16 and no 1600, GS1600, and it cuts up to 16 gauge steel, so it works fine for all that you need. So I can show you here a little idea how to cut this out. I recommend to use one of those lock jaws. They are self-adjustable vice grips, and they work really good. Because when you clamp it to the table like this, you only need to move the shear. The panel stays here. But if you have this by freehand and then the shear by freehand, then you have two that you need to fine-tune together so you can follow the scribe. So I recommend when I cut something like this, I recommend to cut from this side here. It's because when I cut from this side, this piece is going to go down and go away from you. If you cut from the other side this way, you need to lift this piece up and it's going to touch the guard here, and I don't recommend that. It's better to use the gravity so it falls down. So I'm going to cut and follow this line here. So here we have a nice cut now. And if you're going to use this edge to a bead roller, you might need to grind it a little and look long ways so you really can see so it's a smooth line. Because if you use the guide or a roller in the bead roller, you need to follow that edge here. And if something is wrong here, it's going to be that same distortion on the bead that you do in the bead roller. After you cut it with the electrical shear, it can be a little grade, a little bend here. So what I recommend to do is, I go over to the English wheel and using the flat wheel on the bottom and run it one time over with a low pressure, like that, and then it's smooth, and then it's flat again. So that really helps. One time over and it's really good. So this is another tip for you, and I really recommend to go online and search for Makita electrical shear GS 1600, and they are around $250 for one of those, and I never replaced those shears in, I think it's about 8 years now, and we use them a lot, and you can turn those shears around 4 times. So this is a good tip for you if you want to make the job easier for you and faster and better quality. And to follow us with the next DVDs and videos, free videos, you can go to www.lazzemetalshaping.com, and you can also go to YouTube and search for Lazze Metal Shaping there and see all our free videos that we're coming up with.